What? This is funny. Talkin Sauce, episode 92. What a great number. That's a good number.
This is a good number.
It's a milestone.
Some would say a milestone number.
It's a good number. I was born in 92.
Oh, legendary year.
Strong number. I use that number like whenever I made a player for Madden.
That was always your number?
I use 92.
Nice. It's always included in your passwords for things, ending things with 92.
Let's chill on that. Remind me to change that somebody.
Two of the 7 characters have now been revealed.
Yeah. Damn.
But what y'all get into this weekend, man? How was the Thanksgiving?
That's what I got into. Some food. I've been on like a diet recently, and then have not been with the holidays.
As it goes.
As it goes. What about you?
Pretty good, man. I mean, it was just like you said, close family, but food was obviously great.
Yeah.
Caught up on The Mandalorian, which we will get into.
We will.
That's what we watched.
We will. We'll get into it.
You know, usually watch a movie or something. We just watched 4 episodes.
My Thanksgiving was like a whole. It was like a whole thing. Not like really easy on the travel, and rightfully, smartly so.
Yeah.
You don't want to get COVID in this bitch. But I went to my dad's last Sunday for dinner. Then we went over to my in-laws for dinner on Thanksgiving Day, which was lovely, delicious, like the juiciest turkey I've had in a long time. Usually
Nice,
turkey
dude.
be dry as a
Turkey
motherfucker.
can't come out dry.
Everyone knows that ham is low-key the better protein on any holiday.
Really?
Any holiday meal.
ham is the
Turkey
shit.
Just kind of whack. It's great leftovers, like on sandwiches and
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
But it's usually dry as a motherfucker. This turkey was not dry. It's prepared wonderfully. Shouts out my in-laws. They can cook too.
Nice,
They can really cook.
Throw down in the kitchen.
Throw down in the kitchens. And not like all of them. Even the siblings that are like lazy and don't do shit, they can cook. Love you guys. They don't listen to shit.
Thankful for you.
They can all cook. But fucking, and then went over to my mom's the next night and had Thanksgiving meal again.
Nice.
So 3 Thanksgiving dinners.
Nice, dude. You guys are really fucking cashing in on that shit. Look, Dylan's over there like, damn, we only got like 2.
Yeah, you ain't got no in-laws and you don't hang out with your mother. Damn. Just use her as a dog sitter. Shame on you.
That's cold.
It is cold.
On that note, I went
cold
to Dakota and I went to Charleston. It's a little quarantine Thanksgiving to ourselves.
Nice, dude.
Checked out the Yorktown, the aircraft carrier. That shit was dope.
Now, is it called Yorktown or is it the Yorktown?
The USS Yorktown.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
You should have said that.
Yeah.
Well,
no one else would have figured out it was a
if you're from
battleship.
South Carolina, you know. Shouts out South Carolina.
That's
Shouts out
most
Charleston.
Yorktown right over there.
Checked out the aquarium. Got to pet some manta rays. That was my shit.
Nice, dude.
You got a
Dakota
pet
loved
manta
that.
ray if you want.
They were like dogs. It was adorable. Like
Yeah.
they would come up to the edge and like stick their snouts out the water.
They're domesticated.
Be like, pet me.
It
motherfucker."
probably feels good.
It was nice. It was
Yeah, they got some smooth backs.
some very, very slippery backs. So,
They got a very smooth back.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
This sounds like a good vacation, dude.
Some good ass soup.
Manta ray soup. Low key, though. You know what I'm saying?
I ate
Catch that motherfucker with a pokeball.
ate Checkers for Thanksgiving dinner.
Got Checkers.
Got Checkers.
Nice.
Shouts out Checkers being the only restaurant open in Charleston
That
on
is
Thanksgiving.
hilarious.
That
Not a
makes
McDonald's.
Plenty of sense.
Not a
Not even a
Wendy's.
McDonald's. You couldn't find a McDonald's. Well, so they were probably open till like 4
Yeah.
and closed. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Y'all should have early dinner. Y'all, you should got.
We
You
hit
should got
it.
like 3 McDonald's meals at like 1, and then you just ate the motherfuckers.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
Speaking of, I also did a little brunch because I know a guy who would have done that. I just had a brunch with a good friend of mine who just had a baby, and we got to see their baby for the first time.
Nice, dude.
It was awesome. Masking up, holding a little baby. I haven't held a little baby in a long time. It was wild. Gotta have a kid soon.
You got baby fever, dude?
I mean, Megan does. So, I'm gonna get like it's probably contagious.
You're just going to wake up one morning like, oh, damn, I want a baby.
I'm like, why couldn't it just been COVID? kidding. I'm kidding. No, yeah. So that was cool. But also, Dylan was there and his wife. They showed up, so that was cool. I didn't know they were coming. Not this Dylan.
I was like,
this
oh,
Dylan.
shit, Dylan, you got married? Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Hell
cool,
yeah,
cool.
dude. Did you get a chance to watch the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fights this weekend?
So, nah, I didn't. I saw the aftermath of the Jake Paul, Nate Robinson stuff, but no, I didn't watch it because, I feel like
Kind of why would
there's
you?
not a better use of my time. I'm not going to be pretentious like that, But man, I guess if I'm gonna lose brain cells, I'm
Not
gonna
on
do them.
that.
I'm gonna do them on my own terms,
Yeah, not on that.
not like that.
Dude, and I don't know. Did you see like the rules for the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight, like leading into it?
I think
It was
I saw
like,
people bitching
no
about it.
knockouts allowed, which I don't even know what that means. Like, don't do the knockout one.
Hence why Freddie Gibbs said he used to watch guys slap box. For
if like
$50.
there was a cut, they were gonna end it. It was just a bunch of shit where it's like that could just. That's not them being like, oh, I'm gonna go cut him. Like it's just like that happens.
Yeah, it's being overly precautious.
But the fights aside, because fucking whatever, the production of this thing was one of the funniest fucking things I've seen in a long time. Especially because like part of it may be like, I like to watch fightings and there's kind of this is how it's presented.
Right.
And this was a hard
Like WWE.
hard left from the norm. So first of all, the ring's small. The ring is smaller than a boxing ring, like an actual boxing ring is. But they had real boxing fights happen.
OCD kicking in. Continue,
Phil.
please.
But they have real boxing fights happen on the card. So it's already like a foot smaller than everything. It's all white. They got like these huge lights set up. Like the taller, like the couple heavyweights fought, dude, like it was probably 3 feet above their head. Like whole thing's fucking crazy. But we turn it on. Wiz Khalifa is performing for 25 minutes. Just like we turn it on and we think.
Wait, before you continue, like, who all chipped in for this? This was like $50, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, we paid money, but so
Who all chipped in? Who all chipped in?
it was just me and my girlfriend watching.
James wasn't even watching.
He wasn't there. I mean, he may have been watching wherever he was. But
Respect.
so yeah, we
For
turn
the
it on,
culture.
and yeah, for the culture.
Okay,
we turn it
okay.
on, so it's just Wiz Khalifa, and after 10 minutes, we're like, "Is this the wrong stream? Like, are we like, is this like, is this Wiz? Like, we haven't seen anything.
This is a
It
Wiz
absolutely
concert.
is. It cuts back in. They have Israel
25 minutes is a long
Adesanya,
time.
Sugar Ray Leonard, ex-boxer, and this just some white dude is like the main commentator. And from the get-go, Sugar Ray Leonard is trying to fight this commentator. Like every time that there's like a dialogue between them, he was asking him like, because Sugar Ray Leonard, old boxer too, asking him about the Roy Jones Mike Tyson thing, and he's like, he was like,
I'll knock
like,
you the fuck out too.
yeah, he was like, would you ever come back and do it? He's like, I would if I could fight you. Just like shit like that the whole time.
That is amazing.
And as
This has
we
got
watch
to be
a couple
available for the
fights-
next like 48 hours, right?
Dude, it better be. Like they're gonna make so much.
I'm gonna have to
money.
watch this shit.
And so, as we end up finding out, there's a little mini concert between every single fight. So after the first fight goes, then we get French Montana and Sway Lee performing. I don't know.
Yeah,
and so
they
that
got
happens.
the squad.
And then next fight happens. Then they have YG performing, and it gets real gangster. Just like
Dude, this is hood as fuck.
And they didn't let him perform "Fuck Donald Trump," which I thought was interesting. Or he didn't. I assume they told him no because it seems like the kind of song he would play when given a huge platform. Didn't happen.
They're like, what do you mean, YG? This is all paid for by white people. Like, well, you can't. We just can't. Great song, YG.
But
Mr. G.
and then after
Why can I call you Y?
Mr. Y, and then just like this whole time, dude, I'm thinking like we're trying to guess like who's the other like mid-level fucking performer that they're gonna get. Like no offense to those guys,
right,
but just
right.
you know they're not it's not Drake up there.
Right.
So
B list, C list.
and they cut back. They haven't said anything about this. They've just added another little cubicle thing to the commentator's booth, and Snoop Dogg's just there. They did like there was
Like
no
it's
build-up.
NHL 20.
Dead ass. He just shows up, just obviously rolling something up. By the way, on camera, just like looking down behind his thing. They're talking. He's just like back from the microphone, and then
I've seen Jake Paul fight.
And, I mean, Snoop honestly saved the whole thing once he showed up. But then, like the commentator asked him,
Dude.
like some betting odds come up. He goes, Snoop, you know, these people are dropping money like it's hot, right? What do you think about like that's the kind of level of shit the commentator was doing? So what do you think about this betting numbers? Snoop was like, it's just like quiet, and Snoop was like, oh what? And I was like, with these betting numbers, he goes, oh man, that's a nice money line. And then there's like another like just awkward quiet moment. And
You don't give a shit
Nice
about what's
take,
going
Snoop.
on, dude.
and and then like every time they're trying to like the
That's a
announcer
nice
will
money
like
line.
cut to something, but like, and then we're gonna pull up Roy Jones stats. and then just like the same graphic stays on the screen.
Oh man,
and then
so
it's
they're
just like,
just not even on.
Oh, dude, it was such
Snoop
a fucking
got everyone
shit show.
blitzed and no one's even fucking. That is awesome. so all right, so let's get to the fight between Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson. Like, what was that?
So it honestly wasn't like as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really boring. They were both, I mean, they were doing the best they could and the announcer kept saying like, and these guys are old as shit. Like these guys are old, but you know, let's temper our expectations.
Did Mike Tyson's intro have pigeons in it?
I'm glad you brought up Mike Tyson's intro, dude. I
was meaning to ask that question earlier.
So they both walk out to songs that they had made. Roy Jones walked out to a song he made like when he was younger, but Mike Tyson walks out to a song
he made like a week ago. Wait, didn't he drop like a diss track not long ago? Like a heavy diss?
Maybe. This was an EDM song he had come out with some years ago. So
okay.
Here's how it goes. I'm Mike Tyson. And there's like some shit in the background. It's like, I'm Mike Tyson. And like it's doing that. And then it does the build up. It's like he's like, I'm Mike. And then I'm Mike Tyson. And then just hard EDM drop. And it's just like when they cut to Roy Jones coming in to his song, there was like a long, like the song starts playing, he walks up to the lights, like he's like, you know, kind of doing his thing, building it up. They announce Mike Tyson, cut to him, he's like a quarter of the way down the ramp already. Just fucking ready to go.
Give a fuck how old I am. Yo, Mike Tyson is a murderer.
Dude, he's fucking crazy.
What was that video? And I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody was gonna go talk to Mike, and that guy had his own guy who was just filming.
Yeah.
Who was it that he was meeting?
It was Chad Ochocinco. It was
Was
Chad
it- was it-
Ochocinco. And he's like, oh no, he's
just-
with me. He's like, oh, okay, man.
Yeah, because he goes, "What you do with that phone?" He was ready to murder that guy, dude. He was gonna make him. He was gonna take his arm that was holding the phone, rip it off, and make him eat the arm of the phone first. That's what he was ready to do. And then the guy was backing up and everything. He was like,
whoa.
Chill, OG,
He's
chill.
like, Chad.
Oh, man.
So after the fight, I mean, okay, fight. There's no official decision, but then
There's no winners or losers here.
They had a decision. Like, I didn't understand it at all. They was like, there's going to be no official decision, but the WBC, which is the World Boxing
just for their
Championship.
egos.
Yeah.
That was just for egos.
And so they have the fight ends. They have the ref like standing in the middle of the ring with both their arms, like, because he's just a ref. Like, I guess they didn't tell him like no decision. So they just stay on this shot for a while.
Oh God.
And then like the guy goes to like raise Mike Tyson's hand. He kind of like half raises both hands. Like, wait, who is it? And then he's just like, and just like lets it go. And it cuts away to the commentators, cuts back. They have Mike Tyson and Roy Jones standing on like the entrance ramp.
They've done, well, no, like not these guys, maybe specifically this whole group. Live fights have happened before, right?
Yeah,
Like,
a couple of times.
they can't be that hard to like.
Neo sang the national anthem. I forgot to I forgot to mention that.
Who?
Neo. They said Neo there singing the national anthem.
But it was
only before the Mike Tyson Roy Jones
But it was the
fight.
version. It was the version that he what's the word? You know the word. He transposed. It was the version he transposed for Beyonce. Is that right?
Dude,
What do you mean?
Then they interview them both at the same time after the fight. And Mike Tyson's like, they announced it a draw, because of course.
Right.
And Mike Tyson's like, yeah, and like, I'm down to do it again, and I know this motherfucker's gonna be on the card. And they go to Roy Jones, and they're
He's
like,
like, oh, what do you mean?
So would you be down to run it back? And he was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. And the best part is, you know, like TV, it's like face the camera and shit, right? Every time Roy Jones starts talking, Mike Tyson rotates around and stands next to the interviewer, just like cutting him all off from the camera just to have the conversation.
So he has every second of airtime possible.
He was just having a conversation. He wasn't like, they didn't like coach him on how this was going to go. So he was just like turning like, not in any malicious way. He was just talking to Roy Jones, but Roy Jones is facing the camera, so he's facing away from the camera.
Yeah.
And then interview's not over, but Mike Tyson says his piece and is like, all right, I'm out. And just like walks away. And he walks up the ramp to where they walked in, and now you only see silhouettes because of all the lights. And he's going like, and then they make him walk back like he couldn't go out that way. But like you saw it all play out in like silhouette form. and he walks back down the ramp
so
past the interview.
I'm glad you said that. Like all heavy footed, tired as shit. I'm glad you brought that part up because I've been watching a lot of bands' live streams lately, and they've been all incredibly rehearsed and executed. And the part that I always wonder is like the intermissions, or like if they change the instruments, come off like anytime. I've been to enough live shows where you see that it's not always awkward, but it can always be anticlimactic or just like not really play into the whole production really well. You just come on and off the stage, like especially for encores, right?
Yeah.
They executed that really, really well. What you're talking about is the example of the exact opposite. Just no.
I don't think Mike Tyson was supposed to leave at that moment.
I don't think anyone told anyone, nor did anyone practice any of this.
Nothing at all, dude. And so
they probably asked them. They're like, "Nah, I've done this 100,000 times."
He comes back into frame with like a whole group of people to like lead them off, and walks back up the ramp, all while like the interview's still supposed to be happening. It was, dude, I mean, comedy through and through. It's one of those things, like, it was so bad that it's really not worth rewatching. But if you saw it like when it happened,
you're glad you did.
Shit was so fucking funny. And St. John put on one of the worst performances. First of all, no one knows who he is. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
And he was the intro to Snoop. He was. You couldn't understand anything he was saying. He was singing poorly. It was really bad. It felt like one long continuous song went on for like 15 minutes.
Jesus.
And then Snoop came on, and literally everyone forgot that it ever happened because Snoop. You know?
Yeah.
Snoop
OG.
Doggy Dogg.
That's amazing. But so that wasn't even the big fight, right?
What do you mean?
Well, there was another fight, was there not?
Oh, the UFC?
Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul and Nate Robinson.
Nate
Okay,
Robinson.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
That was really what everyone came for.
That's what we're here for. So was that not the headlining fight?
No. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. Yeah,
thank God they at least showed that level of respect.
Yeah, for real.
For the sport
for real.
of boxing.
If they had them be the co-main to fucking Nate Robinson.
Hey man, I don't know what's hot in these streets.
Did y'all see? Was it 9 years ago to the day Nate Robinson tweeted out nap time? Just showing him knocked out. Dude.
Not only is that another example of Twitter being undefeated, but you just can't. The poetic justice of life, right? Like you just can't. It can't get better than that.
It really can't.
He said nap time on that day 9 years ago.
Yep. And now Jake Paul wants to fight Conor McGregor or his brother. When he did his call-outs, he separated it into like groups. He was like a couple of real fighters, and then he like switched over to like the
and here's
YouTubers
some other people I'd like to beat up.
Did you see his interview before the fight?
No.
Oh, dude. So they were asking him how. They're like, "Hey, yo, Jake, how would you have handled the pandemic differently?" He was like, "I don't want to talk about this anymore. How about I ask you a question, huh?" They were like, "All right." He was like, "You seen that Chef Boyardee commercial with the girl who steals the soup can? I want to put her in jail." They were like, "What?" He was like, "Everyone saw it. Everyone saw her steal that. I want to put her in jail. No one wants to do that, but you all believe in this virus that you can't see." So, like I swear to God, like that's that's exactly what he said. And he was like, "But y'all believe in this virus, something you can't see. I want to, it's all bullshit." And then they were like the interviewer was like, "Well, let's get it back to." He's like, "Let's get back on track." Basically, he's like, "How you said earlier you'd want to use like the knowledge you've gained in boxing to help out with the pandemic. How would you do that?" And he's like, "I'm actively trying to box Dr. Anthony Fauci." And I so wanted him in his like post-fight call-outs, but who do you want next? To be like,
"Yo, Doc,
I want Fauci." Put him in the gloves, dude.
Yo.
It was ridiculous. The whole thing.
He said he compared like, yo, like okay, so there's examples of that analogy, like we talk about religion, right? In the air and shit. Can't see the air, but it's there. You can't see God, but you quote, he's there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right, I don't see what I can't believe. Yo, he used the Chef Boyardee.
He said, "Chef Boy, we saw that little girl. Like, he did that 15 fucking years ago. I want to put her in jail."
That was a commercial.
Yeah.
Wasn't like wasn't like when someone caught you stealing in riots, Jake Paul. It wasn't that you could have used that and then said, that would have been a great example.
Yeah, but put me in jail.
But then you go and say that you can't see any virus. Are you saying no viruses exist?
if it's not big enough to see, dude, Jake Paul's not scared of that shit. Dude, just more shit. Snoop Dogg during the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight was just like, man, this looked like my two uncles fighting at the barbecues. I run in there like, grandma, they fighting again.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude, just shitting on him for being old in boxing.
He's like not even that much younger.
He's not. He's literally like 2 years younger than Roy Jones, I think.
I would have loved to see him just start doing the NHL quotes.
Oh yeah.
Well, they call it 99 the great one, but I'm the greater one. Just say shit like that.
Oh yeah, me and Gretzky go way back. Dude, he did say just a beautiful line. They were like, Snoop was like, man, there's two things you can't play: boxing and this pimping, baby. Just is
Shouts out Uncle
so
Snoop.
epic for
That's
real.
Awesome, dude.
Shouts out.
But yeah, fucking, and then Jake Paul knocked out Nate Robinson.
Yep.
He knocked out an NBA legend.
Yep.
Knocked out one of the
Three-time
extras in
dunk,
Space Jam.
the 3-time dunk champ, Nate Robinson. They said that every time they talked about Nate Robinson. They're like, the 3-time dunk.
And this YouTuber.
Jake Paul. I do feel bad for Nate Robinson, man. That's
a tough look.
That's
man.
embarrassing.
That's
man.
a tough look.
Like he
look,
really
man.
looked like he did. I'm gonna be honest. He looked like he did no training leading up to that. I'm like,
I mean, and you can say whatever you want about Jake Paul. You can say whatever you want, and I know nothing about fighting. This motherfucker's been training his ass off.
Yeah, it's his content. He also promoted this song in New York.
This motherfucker has been fighting.
Yep. He's been beating up plebs at gyms all around the country, dude.
Sparring. And the thing is, it's really important to remember, he has no day job.
No.
Literally,
training is his day job. He's filming content.
Filling
for YouTube.
his day is his job.
Yeah.
And if he's doing that with MMA/boxing training, he's not gonna not get worse at it. And he's got a lot of fucking money to hire a lot of people who probably hate themselves for having to train him, but they're getting paid really, really good money to do it. And they're gonna do good by their reputation.
Yeah, they're still putting their name on it. So you know what I'm saying? They got to put the.
They're not gonna make a bad student out of
exactly.
them. So it's you're in trouble if you
think Jake Paul beats Conor McGregor, dude?
If he does, and I say if isn't when, because it'll happen. It's gonna be staged because it'll prove it's staged. It's gotta be staged. I don't think he meant to knock out Nate Robinson, but like there was definitely like a script of like, this is how this will go. Now, if this goes this way, this is how we'll act, and if this goes this way, this is how we'll act. But we're not gonna try to do X, Y, Z, but it might happen. That's how I think. I think I had like a contingency plan for him knocking him out.
You think so?
And vice versa. I think they're like, yo, if you do it, you just got to be yourself and go full troll like you knew it was going to happen. If he does it, they had like a whole another script lined up.
Maybe.
And
Jake Paul was very gracious in victory. I will say that for all the shit he was talking, saying like,
well, you knocked out a legend.
But he was just like, I expected him to be like, that's what I said I would do. I'm the baddest motherfucker. Give me fucking Tyson Fury right now.
Like and subscribe.
He was like, no, this is like my life. Like I'm focused. This is what I want to do. Deontay Wilder didn't even start boxing until he was 21. And I was like, well, let's pump the brakes.
Jake, first of all, you got a beer gut and you are not 21. Yeah. And you've only been doing this for like 2 years.
But then at the end of that, he was like, but anyway, yeah, it's time to focus on music. So check out my song dropping tonight, music video out tonight. It was just so, it was.
And that's the other thing
classic.
too, is like you can't even sit there and be like, oh, well, he can't do music, because that would also be fucked up, right? Because then you could easily look at me or anyone else like me and be like, oh, well, you can't do music either. It's the same kind of thing.
People just hate him, and he's
very hateable.
Yeah,
that's the difference. He's a very hateable guy, and disingenuine. I think that's the difference. It doesn't take away from someone's like ability to chase their dream. Moreover, like, I just don't want to see you succeed because you're a fucking dickhead scumbag. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You look like the kind of guy that doesn't hold the door open for people. Like it's that type of shit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like those are the people who deserve things. You know what I mean? Just people who just are kind.
Yeah.
Genuinely kind. They don't really exist. You know?
Definitely not on YouTube. Speaking of which, check out our YouTube, The Scrum, every Wednesday.
You've been watching this much, fucking like it.
Like that shit. Subscribe, you know what I'm saying? If you're listening, check out the YouTube. Got the video for the podcast every Wednesday, The Scrum, YouTube only. Check that shit out.
Episode 92.
Are we still talking about hockey, dude? Is this even what the show's about anymore?
It's what the show's about when it comes to what episode it is until we do 100, and then we got to figure out a new gig. Gabe Landeskog. I think he's most deserving, right? To at least call out for fucking, what he's done and shit like that. One of the youngest captains at the time. I think he was the youngest when he got the C. He was like 20.
I think 19.
19.
Yeah, I think he was the youngest at the time.
Did McDavid beat him?
McDavid, I think, beat him.
Did McDavid beat
Dave
him?
was 18.
Okay,
Yeah.
look at that.
Which is
Fucking
just
crazy.
Again, not that McDavid didn't deserve it. There's definitely like some sort of like we're just gonna like with Landeskog, it's different. I feel like that kid, genuine leader. Not that McDavid isn't. He's just the best player.
He's so
Give
much
him
better
the
than
C.
everybody.
Yeah,
so
that's
it would
why
make
you
no
gave him the
sense.
C.
Everyone's going to be looking to him to lead play anyway. You know what I'm
Whether
saying?
he's ready or a vocal leader or a locker
Can you
room
imagine
leader.
though, dude? 18 or 19 captaining an NHL team.
Yeah.
It would be terrifying.
Yeah.
I would collapse under the anxiety of all of it, dude, without a doubt.
My chest would cave in from the heart palpitations. It's wild. But in his short career thus far, 600 games in, almost 640 games in, he's got 460 points. You know what I'm saying?
One of
Does
the
his
best
thing.
looking men in the NHL.
Gorgeous guy. I mean, he's a fucking, he's from Sweden?
Think so.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't get better than that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous guy. And plays like a bull.
Yeah.
Big power forward type player.
He'll piss people off, dude.
Yeah.
No doubt.
He's aggressive in the
kind
corners.
of I feel like it's an underrated portion of his game if you're outside of like Colorado fans.
And he's always played that way.
Yeah.
He's never not played that way, which is the kind of similar to like a Ryan O'Reilly, or like Jonathan Taves, where like they can have scoring slumps and things like that, but they still do what they do.
Yeah.
And they do it well. He was second overall drafted by Colorado. See, it's in 2011. It's really not that long ago.
For real.
But it feels like he's been in the league for decades.
Yeah.
It's wild. And of course, the youngest captain a year later at 19 years old. And I think that had a lot to do with his international play too.
Yeah.
Just like his experience as a teammate,
No, definitely.
things like that, having a jump. And it's such a young team in Colorado. They've been young for so long.
Yeah, no, huge for them.
But
So shouts out Gabe Landeskog, dude.
can Colorado, pull shit out of the fire next year?
Dude,
This
I
coming
hope so.
season?
I hope so.
They're
I've kind
like-
of been a fan of them for a while. I know
Right.
it's a lame thing to say on the internet because they're kind
'cause-
of one
yeah,
of those
but-
teams like the Hurricanes.
We talked about
Kinda
McKinnon not long ago. I feel like, at least for me, and we talked about it, I've been a fan of him for so long. So
Yeah.
I've always just had something for. Excuse me. Excuse me, nose tickle. Something for Colorado. Blow my nose. Excuse me. Keep talking.
But been a fan of them for a while. Just they're a fun team to watch in general. A lot of young talent out there. Like I said, they got a lot of studs.
Like, don't even think, you got Cale McCarr doing this thing. Bo Byram's still got to come in there.
Yeah,
That's
and then
they have another
they
right-handed
have
defenseman.
Sam Girard, the young defenseman.
Damn, you're right. He's like 23, 22.
Yeah, and now they got what's his name from the Islanders, the defenseman. Remember we talked about him.
I can't remember. I don't know.
Damn, is it Devontae's? Did he go out there?
Is that who they? I mean, I know I
He's-
know he left the island. Is that
I
where he went?
think that might be.
There
Maybe
you
I think
go.
that's where he went. But yeah, no, they're a great fucking team. Is regardless of how trendy it is to
Yeah.
say like.
Yeah, fuck all that. So yeah, and another honorable mention is probably I'd have to say Jeremy Roenick, 92.
Yeah.
American-born player, scores a fuck ton of goals. He was definitely up there, I think, for somewhere, if not had the most, was really close to the top for goals as American-born player.
I wouldn't be surprised if he held that. For
I think he had it for a minute, or at least for and of course has a couple Richard trophies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Madonna hasn't beaten goals, but then I think Kessel passed him, and I know Patrick Kane I think has.
Has to have.
So he's like third in that regard. But definitely a top
A lot of
5,
92s,
top
dude.
10 American-born player.
Big shouts out.
Yeah, great number. Shouts out Pod Dog.
What's up, Pod
What
Dog?
up,
You went
hot
out?
dog?
Huh?
What?
Oh, you just stretching?
You
He
big
just
man?
jumps
Big
and
puppy
just, like,
stretch.
takes
What you
out all
doing?
the microphones.
Go ahead. You let him out. See you, Pod Dog.
Get on out, big boy.
Still gonna.
Is it called have to itch
He's
first?
got a big stretch. There he goes.
All right.
Little boy.
What a big old dog.
Shouts
Shouts
out
out
Gabe
to Pod
Landeskog. Shouts out Jeremy Roenick.
Shouts out the pod dog.
Shouts out Pod Dog.
Hurricanes. Don't know nothing about them.
Dude, there ain't nothing going on.
I have seen some stuff, some highlights of random prospects.
Really?
Just making some decent plays.
Yeah.
That's been
Good to see.
circling the timeline. It's always great to see. That's
And I forget the guy's name, but he was big, kind of on Kane's Twitter out there in Finland. We had talked about him before, but he got hired as a scout for the Hurricanes.
cool.
He was he kind of cool story, doing a ground up,
Good for
his
him.
own work out there, and now he's a international scout, dude. So shouts out.
Yeah. Oh, is that the Guy Fieri looking motherfucker?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna butcher his last name.
I can picture
but,
it. Yeah. Good for him.
Shouts out to him.
Shouts out. Shouts out Hurricanes. Dude, catch you on the flip, dude. So college football, sports.
Well, quick, just knock out the hockey shit. Quick.
yeah,
Mikhail
yeah.
Sergachev, the 3 years,
Oh, yeah,
4.8
sure, yeah,
mil,
yeah.
AAV, good for the Lightning. They
Yeah.
just they just keep finding money in places where it seems like they have.
I was going to
money.
ask with that, like, what's not that you have to know, not that I expect anyone to look it up. What's their situation now? They got to
They
be
still have
strapped.
Sorelli, I'm pretty sure, to sign,
Uh-huh.
and then one other.
But they got to be at the ceiling already.
Oh,
no?
that's we had when the quote came out, and he was saying, like we have to get under the cap, and we're going to do that, and I'm sure they will.
Did they? I can't remember. Did they trade Johnson already, or did they buy out Tyler Johnson? Didn't they do that?
I'm not sure. Can you look that up real quick? What happened with Tyler Johnson?
I feel like something's happening with Johnson, which would make a lot of that more doable.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing, man.
But still, dude,
Could be
3
dead
years,
ass wrong.
3 years, 4.8 for Sergachev is pretty good.
That's
I
a
feel
great
like.
deal.
Like
It's a great deal. He's not exploding like stat wise, but he's a great presence. He's on a strong team that's going to keep being successful. So it's just a great deal.
I don't know his underlying stats, but I feel like he drives play really well. Like maybe
I don't think
he's not
people are
putting
out
the-
here being like, "You'll get this guy off the second
No.
pair." I don't
Not at
think people are
all.
out here saying
Not at all.
that. I don't know.
But big shouts out.
He's a big fucking dude.
That's
He's
what I'm
young.
saying.
Like you
and
can't
he's
go
skating,
wrong.
dude. Watching him skate's fun as fuck.
Yeah,
Like, it's-
and he's got pros around him that can help him hone hope. Not it's up to them to teach him examples to follow as
Yeah.
far as big guys that can skate. He's got
he's got
Hedman.
one of the
mean,
one
come
of the
on.
guys.
What do you know?
Victor Hedman.
I ain't got none yet.
And you got nothing.
'Cause we're gonna give up on it.
All right,
It's too
dude.
much
Shouts
time.
out Tyler Johnson wherever you're
Yeah,
at.
man.
So,
hope
Tyler
you're-
Johnson.
Yeah.
With whatever's happening in your
Um,
career.
Sports history. This is wild. College football history, football history, American football history, sports history. Sarah Fuller, the first female kicker to play in a SEC college football game, kicked the opening drive, I believe.
Nice. Yeah, so I saw the video of it.
Yeah,
you know?
big shouts out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, did she play any more downs?
I honestly have no idea. And that's nothing that I just don't follow
Right.
college football.
Yeah.
Like at
I don't
all,
watch any college ball.
Which I guess might surprise people seeing as we're from North Carolina.
I
We're
watch
kinda-
zero. I don't watch much NFL. It's not
Yeah.
really my bag.
No, I feel it.
But,
and we do the pod during the games.
It definitely is like kicker is obviously extremely doable position for a female. I think you know what I'm saying, and I don't see why you can't have more. I remember being in middle school. We had like 3 chicks on the team. There's some heavier set chicks played on the O and D line. They fucking could throw.
Oh, I bet, dude.
You know what I'm saying? It's
When
not
women mature so
if-
much faster, dude. They're just beating up on the
Motherfucking
bunch
right.
of voice
If-
cracking motherfuckers.
if you can play, dude, you can ball. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
I mean, it's cool to see. Again, it's kind of just an example. Like you can do anything.
You can break
know?
barriers no
Yeah.
matter what the thing is you're trying to
Yeah.
pursue.
Obviously, the internet was very divided on. on
The
their
internet shit all
stance.
over it. And it's just like, I mean, and some of that stuff's funny, some of it's not, and some of it just comes from a completely incorrect mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some of it's just for the laughs. But at the same time, it's important for people who want to pursue their goals, especially people who want to pursue goals that are traditionally outside of what they are being told to do or known to do. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the haters, do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get crushed. My dreams get crushed all the time. Words
But
cut
yours
right.
don't have to.
Words cut right through me. Don't be like me. Yeah. Yeah,
Dude, I just remembered. I'm sorry. This is
No,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
I remembered one of the. I don't know where this made me. What reminded me of this? But when Nate Robinson was out cold on the mat, and Snoop Dogg was talking, the announcer cut him off with some shit. Like, and what about how do you think about
don't
Nate
you ever
Robinson
cut me
feels?
off again.
Well, he was just like, man, he from the hood, he'll be all right, and just like went right back into what he was saying. as he's
Like,
like
that was the key
dude,
moment of the whole thing, and Snoop's just like, I've seen that shit every day. Dude.
you should like as he's like body still being supported by his face on
Like
the mat.
he knows Nate as a guy who like at social events gets in fights and gets knocked out.
He's like, man,
He's
he'll
just
be
a feather
okay.
guy. Dude. It's just, he gets knocked. He'll be all right. No.
Yeah. I had to also
That
mention
is
that. Shit's
rough.
fucking hilarious.
Yo, speaking of rough shit, and hopefully, I think everyone involved was okay. That fucking F1 wreck, I think it happened this morning,
Yeah, Grosjean.
bro.
I'm not sure how to say his name.
Yeah. But you were saying earlier the details of when it happened.
It was on the first lap. His car slides off the track, is cut in half by a barrier,
Oh, as
and
fuck.
then explodes into flame.
Like fucking that pod race scene.
Dude, for
in
real,
episode
though.
1, bro.
For real.
That's wild. But yeah, I did see the picture of like someone like grabbing him and like pulling him up out of like a barrel or like up over a barrel where there's a barrier too, where everything was on fire. I think that guy was fine. I think he got out like
I think it's like
scot-free.
real minor like
Yeah.
I'm just you're near a fire.
You're gonna get a little
you know
burnt.
what
You know what I'm saying?
When your car
Give me a little burnt.
you're gonna be a little burnt.
Ever playing with a lighter? Sometimes I burn my finger. You know what I'm saying? we are
It's
the cut
nature
from the
of
same
thing.
cloth, me
Yeah.
and this guy.
The episode of BoJack that nothing on the inside, nothing on the outside. It's just like hand over a fire.
That shit's hilarious. Yeah, wild though.
Yeah.
Racing is low key.
Especially F1.
dangerous.
F1 they're going
So fast.
very fast.
And it's not just fucking. You got some curves in there.
Yeah, they
You know
got
what
some
I'm saying?
wild turns.
They got some
what's
limps in their
the
dicks.
What's the one where they have a guy with a map in the passenger seat and that guy knows the track?
Lewis and Clark.
No, it's like the where they're all
It's called a family road trip.
it's dead ass though. It's just like the people are like lining the track
Yeah.
and they're just flying and the guy's like right turn at 50 feet, right turn at 50 feet, now, and they just
That sounds like some UK British
Dude,
Ash.
yeah, fuck
British
all
Ash
that.
one. Fuck that.
Yeah. Going like wait, the people on the side blow my mind.
Those, I
It's
bet you
our-
the,
like,
the
it's
people who
culture,
do
it's
that
close.
are probably so composed if their partners are backseat drivers. They're just like, if they can handle that,
Oh yeah.
they just be like, no, like screaming at me. Like, where are we going? Like, fucking yell it in my ear. They just, like,
This is the only way I
they-
can take information
They need it
anymore.
that way, yeah.
I'm so stressed all the time.
That's wild.
I can't function under calm conditions.
All right.
That's been episode 92.
Now we're getting into the good stuff. And we can finally talk about it because someone on this panel of people here decided to get their fucking head out of their ass.
And watch it. I was late to the podcast to finish it.
And I blame the marketing department. All right?
Agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I forgot that it happened until this morning.
But also, too, you consumed it in the way that most of us prefer to consume shows that are that good and that long
Just
episode.
bam,
one
bam.
after the other in a little binge series, you know what I'm saying? Little brain frying TV action, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A couple hand jibbers in there if you can work that out.
Our
between you and
producer
your
is getting the
partner.
most notes that he's ever put together for the podcast out right now.
Fucking nerd. Fucking loser.
Dude, he's got his lore on lock, dude. He's ready
So-
to get fucking cracking.
It's not gonna be that deep.
Mando's on, and to be honest, I'm not sure the count. What, episode 4?
Five.
Five? Yeah,
Five
so
was
5 just aired Friday. We all just finished watching. Jacob just watched it before he came
Yeah.
over, crammed before the test ass.
No, I'm saying, dude.
Respect it though.
So, what fucking spoiler?
So
spoiler alert.
let's just
Big
let's dig into kind of the
Kinda
whole
had like
series to this
45,
point.
50 minutes.
Let's kind of just dig into the series a little bit. So it picks up. Mando's on Tatooine, and he fights a Krayt dragon. Right, that
Badass.
happens, which is straight out of KOTOR. That's from Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
Which was great for me. They even had like you know how in any RPG game you loot the body.
Yeah.
You get a Krayt dragon pearl. Add motherfucker, put that motherfucker in your lightsaber. They get the pearl. You saw the pearl.
Yeah.
That's like the loot. They got the loot. They got its loot. You know what I'm
And
saying?
those are mad valuable.
Mad value. You can sell them for so many credits. So that right there was just fucking nerd boner just through my pants. So that, yeah, sick. Episode 2 and 3 gets a little fluffy. The rebel shit was sick. You just really get that whole image of the rebels being, well, I guess that's it. They're the Republic now, and they're cops. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're basically just some fucking mustache having, coffee drinking fucking pigs.
I mean, for real.
You know, I'm saying they put our pants one leg at a time like you and I, but at the end of the day, dude, they're fucking snitches.
Yeah.
They're just out here. But they're just
12 out there, dude.
They're 12, and, you know, you definitely see with them and the Republic, though, the level of like how everything's book kept, right? That's what it's a bureaucracy, so everything's responsible to something. That's like the order there. So it's obviously, you know, harder to corrupt in that sense, where everyone's being tabbed at every given time. They got access codes for everything. If our shit don't work like that, our shit is corrupt as fuck. People don't every time a cop does some suspect shit, it's always like, well, did you have your body cam on? No, I didn't. Oh, well, did you fill out the after incident report? No, I didn't. You're like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that shit either. Hey, who's gonna tell on us, right? We're the fucking cops. Hey, you want to do some blow in the evidence room? And fucking in the Republic, you gotta fucking scan 8 people's eyes and fucking you gotta get on a comm that's going to another starship to get the access
how about
codes.
the spiders, dude?
So the spiders.
I hated that, dude. Every part of me hated that.
Yo, wasn't Yoda creepy as fuck? Eating the eggs,
Eating the eggs?
spiders. He was just creepy.
He was a little creepy.
A little creepy. That's
a little
all.
creepy.
People were really upset about that, which
The
is
egg
like, calm
thing?
down. Yeah.
I'm gonna get into that once we get to the end of the recap. But yeah,
Okay. And then jumping ahead. So at this point, Mando's trying to find a place for the young one. Yet it's still at this point, Baby Yoda's his name, and he's trying to figure out
the child.
Yeah,
the family.
He's heard of the locations of a couple other Mandos, and he's heard the location of possibly finding some Jedi. Who this thing, you know, to his knowledge, is how it has its powers, the ties to the Jedi, these religious warriors. So he stumbles upon a couple other Mandalorians doing their thing on the fish planet, and these
Trask.
Trask. Thank you. And these motherfuckers are trying to take a Imperial transport ship that's got weapons and shit, and they basically con them into doing that, right? And
are they a different creed of Mandalorian?
So.
Go
ahead, please.
So this is big shit. It's not just any Mandalorians. It's Bo-Katan, which if you've seen from Clone Wars and I'm pretty sure some other lore, she's a big fucking deal on the home planet of the Mandalorians. And so the whole reason they're trying to steal this ship is they want to get those weapons to take the planet back over. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the episode, you find out Bo-Katan, she's trying to put herself on the throne. Mm-hmm. Now this is where it gets big into the whole thing. You find out that she is trying to get to Moff Gideon, who we remember from the end of season 1. He's like that Imperial officer. She wants to get that Darksaber. Because he or she who wields the Darksaber in the Mandalorian culture
is the leader
of the Mandalore. Now this is the interesting caveat to that. Her thing, now I might have this a little mistaken. The sect of traditional Mandor religion, if you want to call it, that the Mando is raised by, is the same religion that would back that ruling by having the Darksaber.
Because they're traditionalists.
Exactly. Now, she practices a much more different kind. They can take their helmets off. They don't do the same shit. They don't abide by the same traditions and rules of engagement. But she needs that saber for a political tool. So, and I'm only so keen on her in the other lore, but obviously it paints her way more as a sort of corrupted political figure of who just wants power more than any sort of mindful ally. Yeah, it's very interesting, very, very interesting. But she is a Mando, and she got some Mando homies, and they're neutral to the Mando. I think
so.
It's wild. So that's wild. So then they tell him at the end of that episode, they name drop a bomb. Ahsoka Tano, bro. And where to find her. And if anyone knows who she is, Ahsoka's from the Clone Wars and is also the pupil of Anakin Skywalker. Former pupil of Anakin Skywalker.
Close to Anakin Skywalker coming up.
Turned Darth Vader.
And that's what she was talking about when she was talking about...
She's seen Jedis go dark. Now, in the Clone Wars, in the most recent climax of the Clone Wars, I don't want to spoil it, but there may or may not be an engagement of Vader and Ahsoka. Years after they departed, through their falling out that when Anakin, as we all know in Revenge of the Sith, turned to Darth Vader. The Clone Wars uses that transition as well to kind of paint the picture a little bit deeper, and kind of develop that lore, and you see that relationship deteriorate between pupil and master via Ahsoka and Anakin. So you get to the latest episode, right? It's like the first episode in season.
Well, real quick on episode 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
They go back to the main. They go back to the. I forget what planet it is. They start on at the beginning of the series.
I don't remember either.
They go back to that planet where the Mandalorian grew up. Camera's right there. Where the Mandalorian grew up and all that, and they revitalize the town. It's all good shit. They try to get the Mando to get rid of this other little Imperial outpost. They just think there's weapons there that's going to invite some other, like pirates and shit. Not abandoned. They got some big shit cooking up in there, and it's pretty much revealed what they needed the child for. It's revealed what they're doing. They're trying to make Force using clones. They're trying to make Force using clones, and at the very end of the episode, you see the Dark Trooper uniforms. You find out Moff Gideon is tracking the motherfucking
Razor Crest.
The Razor Crest. Also, keep in mind, Mandalorian has Boba Fett's armor.
Yep.
And we know Boba Fett's out there roaming around doing his thing.
I can't wait for that to come back
That's
because he's got
sick.
the armor, so it's going to be like
He wants him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be like, yo, I got
Which
your
is
armor,
interesting
come
why
through.
he never made a move on the what's it called? I guess because he had the armor. You know, just didn't think he could best him with the armor. For that
And there's
Beskar,
maybe no reason at the time too. You know what I mean?
And then also that bitch that Ahsoka fought at the end of the episode, kind of jumping ahead. At the end of the episode we just recently watched. I don't know who exactly she is, but she's got to be from the previous lore. They must have had some relationship in Clone Wars that led into this conflict. I would hope that would be a sick tie. I'll have to go back and look, but.
And fun fact, that actress is Bruce Lee's niece.
Ahsoka's?
Oh, really?
Or the
No, Ahsoka is she's Rosario Dawson.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Clerks 2.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's fire.
Yeah, the other lady,
That's sick.
what you call it?
That's badass. Yeah, good fight. She had Beskar spear. That's fire.
She was sick.
That's cool as fuck.
Um,
So she's definitely dead, right? They just didn't show it. Like,
yeah, I think she got fucked
Probably.
up. My favorite thing about one of my favorite things about Mando is how like the RPG style of like accumulating inventory.
I was literally
very
having
like,
that thought as he like got the spear. I'm like, dude, this is just like every video game.
it's like God of War.
Yeah.
Think like God of War where it's like another thing attached to him. It's just another tool.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
pretty
like
much,
dude, Doom. It's the same shit as you go through the levels. Get a new gun for the
yeah,
shoulder.
it's like Dark Souls, bro.
It's so sick. That
Very
shit's
cool.
so sick.
He's straight leveling up like Borderlands on
For
us,
real.
dude. But it's fire. So yeah, and then more and more truth bombs. Yeah, Dylan was saying they find out that place is a lab. Basically, that's the start of how they made Snoke. That's how they started. And just jumping ahead. If you ain't seen, you better watch it. You ain't even seen the new
I haven't
shit.
seen it. It's fine.
Man, you better watch new shit.
It's fine.
I guess if anything, you're gonna get it like chronologically in order. They're doing shit. They're cloning shit,
Yeah.
and they're gonna try to make force sensitive beings. And now what I want to know is like, do they already know they can channel through the Emperor, or like they're just like doing this because that was like instructions left for them, and they're gonna figure that other part out later.
That's what's waiting to be revealed. You know,
That's
I
the
mean,
part- that's the part I wanna know.
To say they're working on the Snokes right now, that's still just a theory. It's a strong ass theory.
That's what it looked like. I mean, we don't know for sure, but that's what that thing looked like.
and
in
it's
the two.
it's definitely what it looked like. It looked like
But also, when you saw in the newest one, in the
newest.
the Rise of Skywalker,
Right.
when there was like a bunch of different beings.
Yeah, and that's just what
Snoke-like.
fucked up clones look like.
Well, exactly.
You know what I
So
mean?
it's just an abomination.
Yes.
Where does Fallen Order take place in all this? Do you
Right.
know?
It takes place like right after the like what's the word I'm looking for? The pure fucking implementation of the Empire.
Okay.
Like it takes place like in the heat of that, like right when Vader's like they're still going around wiping out the remaining Jedi. So Vader's Vader. He just got put into his suit not long ago.
Because they had force wielding clones in that, didn't they? You had to fight a couple of them.
Force wielding clones.
Well, not maybe
That's
not,
what the
they
Dark
weren't
Troopers are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, they're in that game. They're also in. They're fucking in Jedi Outcast too, which is like that's an old PC game. It's the sequel to Jedi Academy, but fucking yeah. But those are also like similar. Those are kind of similar to like Grievous,
Okay.
where
okay.
they're he didn't have force powers, but like their creations They're not like they're AI at the end of the day, but they
okay.
have Force capabilities.
Yeah.
That's my understanding. I don't think
Force adjacent capabilities almost.
Yeah, I don't think they're like people that were trained in the arts of the Sith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think they tap into the dark side. They just I
They
guess
can
they
just use
do.
the Force.
But it's like it's the same. It's
Like
the
they
type,
probably couldn't use Force lightning unless they could.
think about it like this. Like you got there's Spider-Man who shoots biowebs, and there's Spider-Man who like had to like fill up cartridges.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that kind of shit. But yeah, no, it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire.
Be fire.
So he finally meets Ahsoka, right? He meets Ahsoka, and you get her IRL, like you were saying. Rosalie Dawson, it's fucking sick.
Rosario.
Thank you, thank you. I was thinking of
Kamala.
I was thinking of like 3 other actresses. I was thinking of what's her name from White Man Can't Jump. Was coming to my head. Rosie Perez.
Oh, okay.
That's what I see. Just combined like 8 names. But fucking, he presents Baby Yoda to Ahsoka. And then they're off and they're talking. Motherfuckers are talking telekinetically.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking through the Force.
We find out the motherfucker's name.
Grogu.
We can stop calling him Baby Yoda because he
Grogu.
was never Baby Yoda.
Never.
He was a baby of whatever Yoda was.
He was the child.
His name is Grogu.
His name is Grogu.
Is he
It's
Yoda's
sick.
child?
So we don't know
Yoda
shit,
be
right?
out there fucking
But
around on
she
Coruscant.
name
you know
dropped.
what I mean?
She name dropped Yoda. She goes, the only other being I've known like this was a wise Jedi Master named Yoda. So, and it's interesting. She goes, and we know Grogu is what, like 50, 60 some years old,
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
and this motherfucker was on Coruscant as a baby, getting trained in the temple.
Before Order 66.
Anakin went in there and fucked that place up. Anakin went in there and killed all them younglings, fucked that place up. So Grogu said dip when Anakin showed up.
Someone took him.
He was hit.
And we don't know who.
We don't know who hit him, which is a very interesting caveat. I would love to see who
I'm
they
pretty
bring
sure there's
back.
some bits in the lore of like certain Jedi
Shut up.
who did this. That's something worth looking into if you're
Don't
interested.
do that fucking prediction
But-
theory shit.
Not,
Based on
I'm
like evidence. Don't do that shit based on evidence. Just like say what you want it to be. Like
Well, what do I
for-
want it to be?
Mace Windu.
I want it to be the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn came back,
That's fire. That's
came
fire.
back and rescued all the
Thank you.
younglings.
But don't quote some bullshit about because if you read the Reddit post from the fucking script leak, this is why I think. 'Cause
I'm
they
just
say
saying.
that this
All I'm
ghost
saying is there's
you know what
probably
I'm saying? You know
canon
what I'm saying?
information.
Fuck
out
that
there.
shit.
I'm just saying there's some. There might be some canon out there.
There is, but I don't know. But like, don't hit me with that.
I'm hitting the audience, son. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the audience.
Who?
Or parents.
But she's
then-
she's talking to the motherfucker.
And yeah. So, but that's wild. Like just how close everything is, and how it really wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So then he was like, well, train the motherfucker. Make him do it. And then so she tries to have Grogu tap into his Force abilities and, too old, having a hard time. It's all fucked up. He hid his abilities so he wouldn't get tracked down by the Sith, which is very wise. Very wise. But he might have lost his shit forever. You know what I'm saying? He might have lost his potential.
Yeah.
So she goes, all right, take a little motherfucker to the Seeing Stone, bro, which I've never heard of that. Never heard of that one myself. I'm sure it's been referenced in some. I've never heard of that one. So she said, take the motherfucker. Hopefully it's a place that I'll remember from some other canon. But she said, take him there, and if it'll tap into the Force, and if it's strong enough, a Jedi will sense him, seek him out, and that's also the other thing. So.
But if a Jedi could sense him, could a Sith
Good.
also sense him?
100%.
Okay. So is that you think that's going to be season finale? That where they go there?
I don't even know.
Because I feel like once they go there, that's when
they could edit on anything at this
But
point.
I feel like that's when Moff Gideon would show up, like the big. Oh, this is where we've been trying to go. Once he's on the stone,
I think they'll end it similar to first season, where it'll end on the climax against him, just like it did in the first season. But it'll be a bigger climax,
Yeah.
and then some other. Probably, if anything, they might finish him off and then introduce a new bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got Ahsoka. She's looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
Which I don't know who that is.
That's like heavy from the Clone Wars. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's like basically.
Is he a Sith?
He's just a high-ranking Imperial
So he's
officer.
not right.
He's not a Force user. I
that
don't
was
even
gonna
think
be-
Gideon's a Force user.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next thing. Is your question to if a Jedi can a Sith can? We don't know who that even is.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well,
if there are
I
any.
said bring up Moff Gideon because he's being tracked. I would just assume.
Yeah.
Now, potential Jedi.
course.
Now they say they're going to bring him to this place, and a Jedi might show up.
Mace Windu.
Yes.
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu. That's what I'm hoping for. Other
Was
potentials.
he not killed though?
He flew out a window.
He
bro.
fell out a window. And Samuel Jackson said in a post episode 3 interview that Jedi are known to be able to survive very tall falls, very high falls, you know. Samuel Jackson said that.
And
So
that's, I mean,
who's gonna say he's wrong?
would they bring? I guess you would have to bring him back to play, right? You'd have to, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
They threw me out a motherfucking window. I hope they die.
Let me hold the baby.
Damn, it's powerful.
May the force be with you, motherfucker.
Oh fuck! Oh, that'd be great.
All scarred up and shit.
Yeah.
Lightning did this to me, and a shark. Yo, shouts out Samuel Jackson.
out Samuel
dude. That's
Jackson.
amazing.
But that's where the Mandalorian's at.
No, you
more or
missed the
less.
part. No, we'll be
Well, I mean,
talking
there's another big point to come up, but
about it. No, go
what
ahead.
were you about to say?
I don't know.
So
I'm hyped.
she's like she doesn't want to train Baby Yoda, for just put it bluntly, is he's got a lot of dark side potential.
The fear in him.
The fear.
What if that
the
thing
anger.
becomes bro?
So
Like, fuck
and
you.
this brings me back to the egg thing, the whole him eating egg, and this is just something that irks me. There's been plenty of signs, even through the first season, that can kind of build a theory that he's got dark side potential.
Mm-hmm.
But on the internet,
Stealing the cookies.
stealing the cookies. But on the internet, it didn't pop off until he ate the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got mad that people thought that was that big of a deal. Like, he was just being cute. Like, it was just
Yeah,
cute.
yeah.
And like, and then that happened. Everyone was like, "He's eating the eggs. He's trying to end a species." Like, he's just a hungry baby. So
Yeah,
he
he's
doesn't
just
know he's
mad
eating a
hungry.
species.
Exactly.
You saw he was all cool with it at the end of the episode.
Exactly. He's
when
like,
it was
"Oh,
birthed.
all right,
Yeah. Oh,
He's gonna eat it.
oh.
But
No, because he then cracked open that spider egg and ate that embryo.
You ate that alien spawn, dude.
Crunchy.
The big one.
This is a big one.
That was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, that was all pretty cool, pretty wild. Now those
They were real spiders, dude.
they're real spiders. It's all practical
It's
effects.
all
They-
practical
yeah, they train
effects.
those spiders. They've been biochemically creating those spiders for this scene.
Yeah.
That's what
They were really
Disney
running
has
for
that
their
budget.
life. Yeah, they were really running for their life.
Didn't
there.
tell the actors.
No.
Yeah.
what were you gonna say though? Were they what?
I don't know. There'll be plenty of other time to get into it.
Yeah, Mandalorian. It's all crazy.
It's fire.
It's something that make me want to go back and watch
Season
leading,
1 and
leading
everything.
up to.
It makes me want to watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yo,
sure.
yeah, hardcore.
Definitely. Which is tough to get into. It's animated. It's tough. But I know there's some really
Slow
good
start.
lore. There's some good lore and there's some fire fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good stuff in there.
Is it like I know it's animated, but is it like mad cartoony? Like,
Well, nah. I
Not-
mean, and the tone is dark.
Not this version. It's more like the CGI.
It's like a 3D
Digital
animated
animation.
too. So it's not
yeah,
like
that's what it
2D.
yeah.
And so it doesn't have that it doesn't have like that soft feel to it.
Word.
And again, the tone of it overall is pretty dark. It's got some dark undertones because a lot of it, like, you get to know the clones too, like the clone
That's a big
generals.
part of it.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of soldiers die and shit like that. So they, it's a kids show, but
Yeah.
they try to make it as deep as they can in that regard.
Facts.
Did we do it,
I think we did it, man.
Jacob?
What's up, dog?
Where can they get us if they want to talk this Star Wars?
If you want to get into the lore, dude, hit us up at Talkin' Sauce Pod. No underscore. Respect the underscore. If you're listening, check out the YouTube. If you're watching, check out, all the places where you just listen to it. You can get me at JCobb, JAY_COBBB. Josh.
Give me a Teebs, TABZZ.
Dylan.
Find me on Reddit.
You find him on Reddit because he's talking the Star Wars stuff.
He's all
heavy.
Star Wars.
You
Reddit
find him
stuff.
in the Elder Scrolls stuff, talking the Star Wars stuff, getting banned by the mods. No chill.
You could probably
on this guy.
slip in some false
You find me making a
information
lot of
already.
arguments that the Elder Scrolls universe and Star Wars universe are the same universe. You can find a lot of that. I got banned by from a lot of subreddits for that. Like,
People weren't ready for it, though. People just weren't ready.
find me on Reddit. You T-Bags, you mom 69420 lowercase x capital X.
Yo.